Hi everyone and welcome to the layout and this layout update. This is Dave, also known as Loving Them Trains, and we're back with another project on the layout. Okay, as you see, I have some transmission towers or high tension towers, and it says it's for HO scale, and these are from the Walther's Cornerstone series. So what am I doing with these on an O scale layout? Well, I'm about to show you. All right, so I've got the towers mostly put together. Got the insulators on. If you look at the farthest one to the left, as I was taking the insulator off of the sprue, it flew somewhere into the abyss, and I'll probably find it when I'm not looking for it and when these are already in place, or I'll find it by destroying it with my foot. Either way, for the project I'm doing now, I'll just need two of them, but I just put all four of them together because I may find another spot somewhere on the layout where if this works out, I can do the same thing. So at this point, I didn't want this project to last too long, so I'm just gonna go ahead and get these all painted up and finish putting the footings on them and see if we can't get these put in place. All right, here are the painted towers and they are ready for installation. This is only two of them. The other two I actually kind of put in place to get an idea of what it would look like. I was anxious to do that, so they're already on the layout in possible placement. We'll see. May move them around a bit. I'll show you that here in just a sec. So here are the other two. You can faintly see the one on the left on the lower part of the hillside. It's kind of back. And then the one on the right on the top of the hillside. Just kind of placed them to see what I think, kind of sitting on it for a bit here to see if it will possibly give the effect that I want it to. So of course, like I said, this is going to be a forced perspective type deal. And if all goes the way I'm thinking, I'll put wires on them and bring them down to the lower part of the layout. So this is where we're at. Okay, so I've made the tree cut or pathway where the towers will actually go down through here. Actually, in the front here, I already had this cleared out since I put all the trees on the hillside. It never did cover it up. I knew something was going to go there, and I think I was thinking along the lines of towers when I started planting. So I didn't have to do much removing there. A few up on the far area closest to the wall. You can see there's a little brown patch of some kind of mess up there that I made, but I'll cover that back up once I get the tower in place, the towers in place. So I just filled that in with some static grass to give some dimension. And I still haven't taken that tower from back there. It's not 100% out of the picture that it'll go there, but for now, it probably, my thoughts are that probably will be removed, but I just haven't reached back there to get that one. So let's see what we got. Okay, so I'm back breaking things and pulling things apart. And what I've done here is I've modified these towers as to be able to sit on a steep hillway. This is true in the real world with the prototype as well. One thing I've learned as I continue to model and hone in on my skills is that you can't be afraid to take chances. To me, that would probably be the #1 rule of becoming a better modeler. Many of my accidents have yielded some pretty interesting and good results. So anyway, I wanted to go ahead and get that done. It didn't take me very long, just to snip here and there and create these angles. And this one over here is a bit shorter because it will be further away. Sorry for the shadow. It'll be further away, and I want it to obviously look that way. So we're going to go ahead. I need to get the wires actually on these. I have, I guess it'll be 6 total wires for the insulators, and try to go ahead and get this installed. So let's talk a little bit about how this was installed. So once I completed the towers, I off-site on the workbench installed this Easy Line, which is from Berkshire Valley, and this was their heavy version, which they say would be appropriate for high tension towers in HO scale and also for O scale. Looking at the camera, I can barely see the wire on the camera, so I don't know how clear that is, but I don't know how well it's going to work for my application in O scale. When I bring the wires closer for the bigger towers, but here I think it looks quite appropriate size-wise. I'll try to get a closer look a bit later so you can see it if I find that really you're not getting a good view. But so once I got the wires on, I did back and forth, up and down off the bench work, took them up to test fit and had to make adjustments several times. Either the line was a bit too long or wasn't long enough or came undone. Even though I must say, with a bit of super glue, it really sticks pretty good. But you know, just from moving it around excessively, it did come loose at times. So got those in place. Of course, with the towers themselves, especially the ones I modified, I had to get the right spot for them so that they sit upright. And I actually ended up putting some skewers in the rear sides of the ones that are on the slant, just to hold it or make the tower sit up a bit straighter than it was. And I think that worked out pretty good. Might do a little bit more adjusting, we'll see. So this is definitely not a project for the faint of heart or people that lack patience, or maybe it is for people that lack patience, because it certainly will give you a lesson in patience, as it did for me. So I will say I'm very happy with how things turned out, despite all the issues I had. I find that in this hobby that things are a little bit more tedious and involved and require a little bit more patience. Those tend to be the things that give you the most gratification. So anyway, at this point, what I'll have to do is get the spots where I'm going to put the O scale high tension towers. There's 2 of them that I'm going to install. I got to get those put in place, and then I'll probably do the wiring while those are in place. I don't know if I'll do them on the workbench. We'll see. I'll think that through and see what the best way to do it. Obviously, the high tension tower, the one furthest to your left, that is going to be the one that's going to go to the first O scale tower. I'll have to wire that in place. But going from the 2 O scale towers, I may be able to do those while the towers are actually off the workbench. We'll see. So anyway, a lot more work to do, and we'll see how smooth this goes. Just another view. I was hoping to get a better view of the actual wires, but another view from inside one of the pop-ups in the layout of what it looks like from this view. I'm not sure if you can see those wires in it clear, but I might have to jump up on the table. All right, here are the O scale counterparts to the HO scale towers. These are actually made by MTH. And I just wanted to quickly show you that I did paint them and weather them. The one on the far left is what it looks like out of the package, which is nicely done, like a brand new tower. But I wanted to grime it up a bit, put a little rust on it, and give it a little bit of realism. So that's what I have done. So now it's time to get the crane and get them in location. Okay, I've got both of the O-scale high tension towers put in place, and now they're just ready for wires. What I ended up doing after I weathered the towers is put them in place. Then I had to fabricate some concrete footings, or what they are basically foam shaved and cut to form. And then I added a bit of AK interactive concrete and smooth that out, and that's how I got them. Take you in for a closer look so you can see those and also see the other tower. All right, here's a closer look at the shoes. As you can see, I have one actually in the bare area off to the left of the gas station, and then actually one on the concrete. So I think those look pretty good. Once again, I don't know how well any of this will be seen once I build out and do another area. I'm going to scenic in front of the layout and build up, but I think it's going to be a good representation of what I'm going for. Let's go over and look at the other tower. Okay, here's a look at the other tower. As you can see, it's in place, and again, I've created those concrete shoes on this one as well. This is a bit more steep of a hill, but I think it looks pretty prototypical, as you see many of these towers on hillsides. Now, the one issue with this is that if you look to the left of the tower insulators, it's rather close to the bridge. But in order to keep it on the landform, I had to put it that close. I'm not sure at this point in time, but I'm also considering doing another type of bridge here. So if I do that, then this issue won't be in place. But as of now, we're gonna have to deal with it and hope that no accidents happen. So I'm going to use this utility system substation by Woodland Scenics. Got a place that I've had for this. I'm by no means an electrician. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty electrically illiterate. But based on what I see on the internet, what I've talked to people about, I think that I have a good plan here. And ironically, I bought this utility system pretty much when it first came out. I just thought it was so unique and realistic, and I had a spot, or have a spot for it on the layout. So this was to be put in place before I came up with the high tension idea. So with that, man, it just came together as I started to think about what I wanted to do with the high tension towers as far as connecting them to this. So I'll stop babbling on, go ahead and take this out the package. I probably will do something on it, even though it's very finely detailed, but I'll probably do a little bit more weathering, maybe a little bit of a little bit more rust, but it's pretty well taken care of in that realm as far as the detailing and the weathering go. But I want to just do something slightly different. We'll see what that is. But I'll get it out the box and take it from there. So here is the substation in place and secured. Actually, it's not secured. The gravel around it and the ground foam is, but I just have that plopped in just in case I need to move it out of the way with some stuff I need to do behind it. But this is pretty much a straight fit. Like I said, this spot here was where I initially intended on putting this, and it fit in just like I thought, which is something that normally doesn't happen, at least for me. So what has to be done at this point is I need to put a chain link fence around it. I'll probably do a little bit more ground foam and I might add some more grass or some static grass, something like that. And then if I move over here to the right, you see this contraption. I experimented with how to make some roads and crack them and all that kind of thing. So there's the mesh right there. So I need to smooth that out, get that painted up, and that'll be the road that goes between the fruit factory and of course the substation. And ta-da, I have connected the substation to the high tension towers. So as I move over to the right, you can see mostly the results. I will put the camera up so you can see more of that, but it comes down from the mountaintop and leads all the way over this way. So I think that's a good representation of the technique called forced perspective. It came out pretty much like I envisioned it to. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm feeling pretty good about it. I will not get into how nerve-wracking this was and how patient I had to be. It was a lot, but I will spare you that because there was a lot of creative language and a lot of tears shed to get this installed. But let me take the camera off of the tripod and give you a better view of the high tension towers. Okay, there's the view right there. And these were some wires that I got from Woodland Scenics. I do have the utility pole system, I should say. And I wasn't happy with the fact that you can't really see them where they're at on the layout, the wires. So as you can see, I ended up painting them a dark gray color. That's just so you can see them. And I noticed that on the actual substation, you can see that their wires on here are gray, so I don't feel too bad with doing that with these. I didn't necessarily get the wires the same thickness and consistency from one wire to the next because I just thought that'd be a little creative. Depending on where you're viewing the actual wire, sometimes you'll see all of the wire, sometimes you'll see bits and pieces. So I think it adds a little bit of realism and gives me what I want. So I'm really happy how those towers come down off the hillside and into a larger size and eventually to the utility or substation. What's next is I'm going to go ahead and finish up this road and get the chain link fence around the substation. And then I think I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up this video. There's still more I need to install with the electrical system, but it involves more wires, and the more wires you add, the less access you have to work on certain areas of your layout without destroying it or having to take it all down. And this is very tedious. I don't want to do that any more than I have to. So let me go ahead and get to this last bit of work for this video, and we'll close it up. All right, everyone, here we're back with what I'm going to conclude with on this video update. As you can see, I've got the fence in with all the signage, weathered it up. Got the road to the right there. Not sure how I'm going to proceed, if I'm going to put striping on it, but it'll definitely get weathered. But I'm happy with where things are right now. I can walk away and do something else on the layout and then come back to this section when I feel so inspired, or I get this wonderful idea, or I see something as I'm driving around that's like, okay, I want to add that to the layout. So this has been one of those projects that while you're working on it, it's very tedious and sometimes frustrating, but once you get done, it's well worth it. Okay, everyone, so I wanted to get this view, which is the view that everyone will get as you walk into the train room. To the top of the hillside there, that's about 15 feet away. So it's definitely enough room to create that distance as the utility poles go up the hill. This has been a fun project, and I thank you for watching. Again, this has been Dave, also known as Loving Them Trains, with another layout video update. If you would, please take a moment to subscribe and like the video. And I'd like to see you come back as I continue this project and others. But for now, later, y'all.